Hi folks, this is Rose from In Rose's Garden, and today we are going to work on a pretty fun little necklace using components from Jessie James Beads and some resin. So let's turn down and I will show you what I'm thinking of doing. What I have here is this really cute little pendant piece from Jessie James Beads, a pretty little girl. Some toggle clasps and a piece of chain reaction. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the chain reaction and we're going to put a toggle clasp on it, and then we're going to hook her on here. But before we do that, we are going to get out. We're going to take some UV resin and some colored UV resin, and we're going to take a piece of Scotch tape. Now I know you're going, Scotch tape? Why are you needing Scotch tape? We don't need a big piece, and we didn't want it to do that, but I think we still can get it straightened out. Yep. So then what we're going to do is we're going to take her and drop her down onto the Scotch tape. I'm also going to get my silicone mat to put her in these on, so we aren't going to resin our mat here. So then what we're going to do is we're going to put some resin. We're pushing that down onto the tape, so the tape is going to be the back portion of our resin so that we can stick all right in here. Then we're going to pour a bit of resin inside. Now, since this is actually not very deep, I don't really need to do 2 layers of resin like you would normally, because, well, there's not enough depth for it. But what we're doing with this is, this one is red or pink. We're going to give her some pink lips, and then maybe a bit of a pink cheek too. We're going to have to get a toothpick and get that out. It's got a big bubble in it. And then we're going to give her some blue eyeshadow. And I was actually thinking of putting some flowers on her, but I debated that because, I was going to put one behind her ear, but she doesn't have an ear. So I have a couple of toothpicks. We're going to pop this bubble that's right here in her cheek and spread her cheek out, color out a little bit. And then, as you can see, the red stayed pretty good in her mouth area, which is where we want it. Then I'm going to take another toothpick and I'm going to spread this blue around so that her eyelids are blue, perfectly blue everywhere. Go. That's not too bad. See, that's the pink one. This is the blue one. Now, do we want to give her some flowers? I may. Just a second. Here's my little package of flowers. Maybe we'll put one right here in the middle of her forehead. Our lady's going to become a flower godchild. Thinking we may need a little more blue so her eyelids are more that little bit more blue gave her an air bubble that doesn't want to come out. There we go. Now it's time to get our UV light out and get her a little bit dry. Now I'm going to tell you right now, this will dry it to a degree, but frankly, it won't dry. It doesn't dry all the way. I find that it is, I see she has a little air bubble I need to maybe get out here. I find when you get it partway dry, the easiest thing to do is to put it outside in the sun. They really like the sun, and after all, it's UV resin. It will dry up much better in the sun than it will here with the light. It stays a little tacky with the light for some reason, but she seems to have a little bubble. Well, she may have to live with her bubbles because I think she's dry enough. I don't think I can get them out now. Yep, it is. So, see how she's going to look here. But I am going to put her on the dryer for one more time. Maybe two, and we'll be back in just a moment. She's been under the UV light for about 4 minutes now, as soon as this one finishes. And what I'm going to do, because it will, surprisingly enough, frequently they're still tacky when they come out of the resin, and it takes quite some time for them to dry all the way up. So I find if we have a nice sunny day, which today is a nice sunny day, in fact it's quite hot, I can take it and put it in a little dish like this one, and I can take it outside and put it in the sun, and it will dry up pretty fast. I'm going to take the tape off. Here's what she's going to look like. Well, I'm going to put her in her dish, and we'll take her outside to the sun. Now, because she was hollow through and through, there was no back to this. That's why I put the Scotch tape on. The Scotch tape keeps the resin from running away, so to speak, and does a really good job. It comes off pretty good. It will dry up nicely. As you can see, that's what she's going to look like with her lips and her little pink cheek and her flower on her forehead. And so we're going to put her outside in the sun while we do the chain part up, and then when we come back, we'll hook her on because she should be thoroughly dry by then. So I'll be back in just a moment as soon as I put her outside. Okay, we are back, and now we are going to work on our chain here. Let's open this up. This is chain reaction number 8. And these are 18 inches long. Now, while writes that should be perfect, but it's always made like this with this last one here. So I am going to cut that one and leave it be by itself. And we'll take it off of its split ring here. Though actually I could use this, leave the split ring on if I chose to and use it for a connector, but I doubt if I'm going to because, well, I'm going to use those pretty flower. Now we're going to cut this last bead off because it's going to be in our way. So we'll cut it off on the jump ring rather than on the chain. And we'll set this little one aside. We'll use it for something later. Now, the thing we have going on here that is going to become a problem is, well, for one thing, this chain is going opposite directions because of the way the links are made. See how that's done there? Well, the other thing is that we can't get the bail that I'm going to put on here over the top of these beads. So we're going to cut this right here in half. And then we're going to switch its direction when it's well, except for we can't switch its direction and still leave everything in place because it still is got, the beads are different here. So what we need to do is we're going to cut this side off right here to make it be even. And then we're going to add it up there. Now you're probably going, how are you going to add it? Well, I have some tiny little gold jump rings that are oval jump rings that will match up pretty good with this. So we'll put this up on this side, flip it around because it needs to go this way. We'll find my teeny tiny little jump rings. Here they are. See, they're pretty tiny. They're about the same size, I think, as the jump rings that are on the chain now. I didn't need that many, but that's all right. See, they're about the same size. Maybe a teeny bit wider and bigger, but not very much. So we're going to open one of these up. And we're going to put our chain together again. There we go. Oop. Come on, untwist yourself there. Now see, it's barely noticeable. It is noticeable if you really know to look for it. But if you don't know to look for it, it's not noticeable. So then what we're going to do down here is more or less the same thing, but we're going to put a bail on. I have this pretty gold bell right here. So what we're going to do is we're going to slip the bell through the chain, like so. Then we're going to take one of these jump rings. These are teeny tiny jump rings. We're going to open this one up. Now we're going to connect these two pieces of chain together. Now they're exactly the same because they are, and I probably could find a piece like this to add into here, and I just might see if I can, and that way it would not bring to those two that are exactly alike together. So I'll be back in just a second. Another piece of scrap, and I want this piece right here. I don't want to cut this two off because I don't want to sacrifice this. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take this off right here. I'm going to cut this link out right here. And then I am going to put this back on its chain, so it's a split ring, so it doesn't get lost anywhere, and we'll hang it back up with our other pieces. So now what we're going to do is where we were going to hook this together right here, I am going to hook it to this piece here. And drop it on the ground, apparently. So, oops, don't want to lose it out of there. Go through. Then we'll hook it right here to this piece. And close it back up. Now we're going to take this piece, stop, go back in there, and we're going to open this up. We're going to go through this piece of chain again, and then through this piece. Now this piece of chain looks exactly alike, like it would if it was naturally there. See, I don't, so it looks like it's just another link in there. Plop. This is going back and forth as it sees fit, and that's fine. I don't care. Now let's measure this and make sure we kept it at 18, because since we did cut that one bead out. And this is 12 to right here. And it's actually, looks like if that was 12, this is actually 19 inches. And that's fine, that's great. Makes her be a little longer, and I always appreciate that. So we're up to here. Now we could use these teeny weeny ones to close this again, but I have a next size, and I would prefer to use these on our toggle. So we'll get a couple of these out, and we'll get one of our toggle sets out. These are pretty. This third toggle set doesn't know it, but they are probably going to become earrings, but we'll see in time. I'm not sure what we're going to do, but if I decide to do that, that's what we'll do. So now we will open up this jump ring. And we'll need a third one of these to hook our little lady on, but there we go. Close her up. One side on. Go over to this one. Open her up. put her on the toggle. And then we'll close this baby up again too. Okay, so there is our chain. Put on our toggle. And our bell is down here. And next and final step is simply to hook our little lady onto here. So in order to do that, we got to go see if the sun dried her out yet. If so, then we will bring her in and hook her up. Okay, so here's our little lady. Now I will say that she's pretty dry now, though when I first got her, the back side still felt like it was sticky. And it had been out in the sun for quite some time, so I decided that probably wasn't the case. It probably wasn't really sticky as far as the resin is concerned. So I went and ran it under some tap water and rubbed it. And sure enough, it's fine now. So it was tape residue, and that happens. So there's what our little lady looks like. And now all we have to do to finish our little necklace off is to jump ring her to this bail. So we'll get the medium-sized jump ring out. I only need one. And then we will get our pliers, open this baby up. And hook her onto the bail. Let's go over here, babe. Because the bail has a relatively thick piece, and so does she. Though they will fit here, I did need to take my pliers out for a second so I could move her over into the gap down there. There we go. She's all done. So there's our pretty little lady that we have resined and put some color in places and gave her a flower on her forehead. And then we have hooked her to added a bell to our chain reaction and another link of chain reaction. And then we've put it here and added our toggle clasp. And again, she is almost 20 inches. So, didn't that turn out cute? I hope you liked it. I think it turned out cute. So now, other than the bail, all of these components for our pretty little necklace came from Jesse James beads. The chain reaction, the little pendant piece. Well, I should say the bail and the resin piece stuff that I put inside her. But really cute little necklace, simple, easy, pretty. And if you don't have any resin, you could have just put her onto the chain without doing the resin pieces. I think it turned out really cute. So this is Rose from In Rose's Garden, and like I said, this is all other than the bell and my jump rings and the resin, all from Jesse James beads. Isn't that pretty? And like I say, if you don't want to resin her, you could just put her directly on. There she is. This has been Rose from In Rose's Garden, and we'll see you later. Bye-bye.